Good morning, it's Sunday morning. It is 10 a.m. in the UK and it's God knows what time in Australia, where Spencer Pryor, ex-Leicester City defender, will be joining us very, very shortly. Hopefully he'll be enjoying something a little bit harder than a cup of tea, but that's what we will be doing. And this is the Foxes Aftermath Show, or Fan Zone Special, whatever you want to call it. Jamie is going to be running this shortly, much as he thinks he's not. He is joining us from Spain very, very shortly. But my name's Phil. Get your questions in. Get your comments in for Spencer Pryor, and welcome to a special edition of the Foxes Aftermath Show. Yes, good morning to everybody who's watching. I hope you're staying safe and hope you're staying well wherever you're watching, whether it's in Leicestershire, whether it's in Australia, whether it's in America, whether it is in Alcudia in Spain. Here is Jamie. Come on, Jamie, this is
morning
your show.
All. How the devil are we? Are we all good? Are we all enjoying it?
Very good, Jamie.
Today,
come on, passing you over because I'm doing the tech, but you're doing the thing. Come on.
Just like to apologise to everyone that watches my Sunday morning show, my Foxes Aftermath show. I've got Phil, the editor, and Chappie have all of a sudden just sort of decided to join me this week. I don't know why. It's going to be a bit confusing. But the real reason is we've got Spencer Pryor on. He played for Leicester. He came in August of '96. He came for 600,000 from Norwich. Unfortunately, he was only with us for 2 years. I thought it was a bit longer than that, but he was only with us for 2 years. He played 78 games. Unfortunately, didn't score a goal for us. But he's probably helped set up one of the most important goals against Arsenal in about the 99th minute, I think it was. He was very good in the air, very solid defensive-wise. And I think it was a bit of a surprise when he left for Derby. He's in Australia now, so I think we ought to bring him on and see what he's got to say.
Here he is. Let's see if the technology is working. Spencer, can you hear us?
Hello, boys. Of course I can.
Morning, Spencer. How are you? Looking at red wine in his hand.
It's actually good evening to Spencer, isn't it?
It is. It's good evening. Yes, it is. 7 o'clock in the evening, yeah?
Hence why you're drinking red wine, Spencer, and we're drinking tea. You're not a raging 7 up.
I'm all beered out. I'm done for the day. I've had a few beers, a couple of beers. It's been a nice day. It's 28 degrees here today. So we had a couple of beers at lunchtime and...
he sounded... What, just lying by the swimming pool?
No, funny enough, like we live by the beach here, and they had to come and shut the beach because we've got the social distancing and stuff. But the beaches are still open as long as you're going and exercising. So what they've been doing is everyone's been down there. They've been sending their kids in and telling them, go and have a swim, go and have a swim. And the adults have just been standing around and chatting, right? So the police had to come this afternoon and shut the beach, which is kind of good.
Well.
Which part of Australia are you in? Is it Sydney you're in?
I am. I'm just outside Manly, in Sydney.
Is that Bondi Beach area? Is that Bondi Beach? Is that Sydney? Is that
That's the eastern suburbs. That's the dirty side of Sydney. That's the dirty beaches down there.
Right.
We're the nice beaches. We're the northern beaches, so we're like the insular peninsula, they call us.
Right. I knew it was Australia somewhere, but I wasn't quite sure exactly.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to start off with everyone, as I seem to be in control today, which is very unusual when Phil and Chappie are here. Normally, I'm third on the list. When you signed for Leicester, what was the reason? Was it because of Martin O'Neill was already here because you played with him at Norwich? So was he one of the main influences you signed for Leicester?
100%.
Was it?
Literally.
It was.
Yeah, because so he came into Norwich at a time when we were struggling a bit, and having had a few different managers, one being Gary Megson, Martin came in and it was an absolute breath of fresh air, and the gaffer actually managed to get me and my performance to another level. I actually then at the end of the season, he left before the end of the season to come in and help Leicester get up through the playoffs. And once he left, he actually said, look, if we get up to the Premier League, I want to take you with us. I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's great. So the season finished with Norwich, and then I was watching the playoffs pretty much wearing a Leicester shirt, actually.
Yeah, cheering us on. Thinking,
Yeah.
what? Thinking you're going to get a job here if it goes well. Come
So
on,
look,
Leicester.
It took a bit of time to get the deal done, through the close season, but we managed to get it all tied up just before the start of the season, which was great.
Wasn't it literally the day before the season started you signed?
Oh my God! So me and Casey Keller signed on the same day, right?
Wow.
And then, and we literally, I think we played Sunderland away first game.
Yeah, it was Sunderland away.
Yeah, which was it was a brute of a game to actually go in as the first game, but it was a really good way to get into it with all the squad. There was no messing around, no pre-season. I didn't want to do another Martin O'Neill pre-season. So
Were they tough,
Casey were though?
Yeah, they were really tough. It was actually a good way to just get in, get going, start playing, and it was that's how it was 100% because of the gaffer and all his staff. You know, it was really important thing to have that continuity. For me, I'd had a few managers chop and change at Norwich, so you know, when you get aligned to working with somebody, particularly of the gaffer's quality, who his man management is the best I ever had.
Yeah,
that was really important for me to you know, want to go to Leicester.
Yeah, Martin O'Neill it's gone down as probably one of the best managers we've had outside of obviously Claudio Ranieri, and currently
he's got to be in the top.
He's
top
got to be,
isn't he?
Top three managers of Leicester all day
easily.
long. What would you say was your best game you ever had in a Leicester shirt, Spencer?
Probably the cup final replay.
Yeah.
Probably the replay actually. Don't really remember the game. Sounds stupid, but I actually don't really remember the game. I don't remember the cup final. I don't remember the replay. I just know we won, and then you start reading. We won, and then you start reading, as you do as a player. You start reading the papers and things after the game or the next day. And it's like, oh, did I play that well? Oh, all right then.
Yeah.
What you do? Get an 8 out of 10, did you, for that game?
I did actually. I've still got the newspaper.
Brilliant. Still got the newspaper.
There's one game that I thought you might mention was the 3-3 against Arsenal at Filbert Street. I mean, what a game that was. I mean, I've got to ask, you know, you set up the goal for Stevie Walsh, didn't you? Were you actually planning? Did you actually see him there, or were you going for goal yourself with that header? In the 99th minute?
With my 50p head.
Oh right.
No, I think actually the ball came across somehow. I was always in the mix for certain things, and the ball come on my head, and I kind of cracked myself and head it back across the goal rather than at goal. So Brilliant. it was more putting it into an area where somebody else can score. So you know. The philosophy always is, right, if you can't score, if you can score. If you can't score, can you get it to someone else that can score? And if you can't, can you put it into an area where and for me, with that header, it was, you know, I probably could have gone for goal, but I don't think I would have got enough power on it to get it past Lee Dixon, who was on the line, and beat David Seaman, because it was coming across and I would have had to sort of turn my neck. So it was easier for me to head it back across for somebody who was coming in on it, which Walshy did.
You picked the right man for that moment, didn't you?
I did. But the thing with that game is it was a great game. But everyone looks at Dennis Bergkamp's hat-trick and thinks he mugged me off for the goal. No, the one he pulled over his shoulder. It was Matty Elliott. But because we both had the same shaved head, everyone sort of said, oh, You got mugged off by Beckham.
Hold on, chappie. Hold on, just let me finish this just a second. When Walshy scored, he went running to the bench. Now, was he going? I've heard that he was going towards Ian Wright because they had a bit of a battle of that game. Was that right? He was actually going to celebrate in front of Ian Wright to have a go at him, or was he just celebrating with Martin O'Neill?
Probably celebrating with the gaffer, actually. It was that tight a unit. It was celebrating with the gaffer and with the staff, 100%.
Right. Okay. It just looked a bit aggressive when I've seen the video of it. It looks a bit aggressive when he's running towards him and that. And I just wasn't quite sure.
Was she looking aggressive? Are you sure? I don't. No. Really?
Oh, you've seen him in more moods than we have, I think.
Yeah.
Listen, I've played footy against Steve Walsh, and he's still an absolute beast now. So we won't go there. Spencer, do you still keep in touch with any of the old Leicester players?
I do actually. I still speak to Casey. Speak to Casey a lot.
No, that's awesome. I actually did message him to see if he'd like to do this. Is any way you could forward that message on? That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll do.
I'd love to get Casey on.
So I'm working for you guys now. That's right. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I still
You could be our far-flung fox from Australia.
Yeah, I actually spoke to him last week, believe it or not. So I'm just ribbing him all the time about his president. What a great guy he is. I'm constantly giving it to Casey, and I think he likes him, which makes it even funnier. So.
Speaking of ribs, have you got any rib stories for us from the Filbert Street days?
Probably not. They're not the ones that I can share anyway, because
not child friendly, unfortunately.
Really not. No, we were a bit naughty as a team, actually.
Yeah. I think we understood that.
Yes,
but we were allowed to be, because the gaffer actually let us. We worked super hard, super hard, and then when we were a bit naughty, he kind of let it go a little bit. But then when it became more than naughty and naughty because people's egos were getting in the way, then the gaffer pulled it back in, and he managed to nip that in the bud. Make sense?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
So who in that way then? Who was one of the biggest jokers in when your time then? Couple of years you were there.
Gary Parker. Oh
Gary
my God.
Parker. Yeah.
Next level.
Yeah.
Proper funny.
Was it?
Yeah.
He's still bonkers now.
Yeah, he was very funny. But being the other side of the fence now, it'd be interesting to know how he is with players taking the mickey out of him like he used to out of the coaching stuff. So they probably give it back as well.
Last time I saw Gary Parker, he was sporting not only a beard, but like a scary beard, Spencer.
Yeah. Like a ZZ Top beard.
That would cover up his 6 chins.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it was him, because we was all getting changed in the King Power, ready to go out for it. It's a charity game, I think it was, and I didn't even know it was Gary, because he's changed that much. It's just changed that much.
Well, he's done well. He's had a good career coaching wise as well now with Lenny, which is fantastic. So pleased for him. He's a great guy.
And Spencer, can I ask, what are you up to now? I mean, obviously you went down to Australia. Are you still involved with football? Can you talk us through how things are going for you now? Yeah,
they're all right. I'm not working in football at the moment, but when I moved down to Australia, then they're a tough crowd down here. They don't like English ex-footballers, so it's quite tough. And you've got to earn your stripes. So I went in and did some stuff with community football here for a while to start with, and then when somehow, because I was doing my A license here, I managed to get involved with the women's national team. So I went to the 2011 World Cup with the women's national team here. Yeah. Great experience, really liked it. I was the assistant there and also the head coach of the 20s, under 20s. And then went down to Tasmania, took a technical director role down there for the state. That was tough, living away from family. Then came back and kind of just mooched around, did a couple of different football things, and then managed to get the head coach's role for Thailand women's national team. So I went over there for 18 months, took that job. Somehow managed to just keep going with the women's football thing. I've got no problem with it. It was a good experience for me to go down there. Yeah. After that, came back, fell out of love with football here. It's not in a great place. So went and did something completely different. I actually went into did some recruitment work. So I went into doing recruitment, not agent as a football, just into recruitment. Oh. And then out of the blue, I got a phone call to see if I'd be interested to go back to Thailand to work with one of the men's teams in the Thai Premier League. So that was actually to go in as a technical director. So I went in there. I went in to go and help the head coach out. And I had to resign from my normal day job, right? So I resigned from my day job. Now, bear in mind, this is Thailand, right? So I was going to go and help this head coach. And I had to work my notice period, which was 3 weeks. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was working in Sydney. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was in Thailand for the day's training and for the match, then fly back. And I did that for 3 weeks. But in the 3rd week, they sacked the coach and brought a new guy in.
Oh, dear.
He said, I want to run the show. So I was flying over there and the owners went, you don't have to do anything. I was put on gardening leave literally the day I started. Ties. It's the ties. Honestly, Asian football. Oh, it's hilarious. I could write a book on Asian football. I've only done about 2 years here.
Wow.
So I came back and actually the recruitment company that I was in before, they said, look, if it doesn't work out, you can always come back. So that's where I currently am at the moment.
Spencer, I've got a question from the fans watching. Somebody's asked you, there's loads of questions. I'm just picking a couple. Who was the best player you played with while you were at Leicester, Spencer?
Emil.
Emil Heskey,
Yeah. Well, what was he like in training? Was he a nightmare in training as well?
He was just a brute of a young kid. An absolute brute of a young kid that we all knew the potential that he had and the sort of player he was going to be. And he could just bang in goals for fun. Like, it was great having experienced players around him to help him through as well. But he was the best player. I think we needed to score goals. To be successful, you have to score goals. And he was an out-and-out goal scorer. He had a great player with Ian Marshall alongside him who helped him and took a lot of the pressure off him as well. So he would be the best player in terms of what he brought. But, we had so many players that brought different things. This is where the gaffer was great with the squad he put together. You had Neil Lennon, who was an absolute workhorse and a dog in midfield. Who would literally just win the ball and give it to Mazzy because Mazzy was technically gifted. So, it was we had such a real mix, but we all worked very well together.
I think we should hit the more of the comments, Phil.
There's a question here from Mark Charles. How many times did you get sent off in your career? He asked this for Conrad Logan the other night as well.
Do you know what? I don't even know. I think it might be about 3 or 4.
Oh, not as much as Walshy then.
Not as much as
maybe 4. Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
But you never got sent off for Leicester, though, did you? I don't think you did. Did you?
I don't think I got sent off after I left Norwich. I don't think I got sent off. I got sent off once for Norwich when I didn't get sent off, where I fouled Tony Cottee, who was through on goal, and then it's a good story. I fouled Tony Cottee, who was through on goal, and the boys went. There was a bit of a melee, and the boys went, "Quick-eyed, you don't know it's you." So I literally hid and I was doing my laces up and the ref's looking around and he sent Andy Johnson off instead of me. Right.
Bit similar looking, yeah.
But then I got a retrospective ban for that one. I did. I think I got sent off a couple of times for Southend early on in my career and then once for Norwich. I don't think I got sent off after that.
We all do silly things when we're youngsters.
I think in the League Cup...
We could get away with so much more than the players now. Yeah. Oh, my God. Like, you can't tackle now. It's dead.
No.
Are you quite pleased, Spencer, that you played back in the day when you did, rather? Do you think the game has changed now where you'd find it a completely different sport almost?
Different. I've no regrets of when I played or how I played. I was a bang average footballer. I managed to maximise my potential. I maximised my potential and I had a good career out of the game. I'd love to play now for the money. These boys are like, they're multi-millionaires instantly, eh? So,
yeah.
Of course we all want to play now, but no regrets at all.
Well, there's a good,
I wouldn't have played at the level I got to play at.
Oh, I think Spencer. I think you're doing yourself a disservice there, Spencer, because you not only played for Leicester, you had a great spell at, like you say, Norwich, Derby, which we want to talk to you a bit about, obviously.
No, we don't. No.
And
Man City as well.
Man City as well, Spencer.
And Man City as well.
But they were a different club back then to what they are now.
Yeah.
100%. So the thing is, like I said, the game has evolved and defending is dead now. It's more about intercepting and disturbing opponents than it actually is about tackling and winning the ball. You can win the ball now, and if you touch the player, you're still likely to have a free kick given against you because it's deemed as dangerous. It's like I'd probably get sent off a lot more now.
Yeah, Steve Hinks says, "What's your thoughts on the VAR?" Because that's
just get rid of it.
Yeah,
like just please get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's you take out so much conversation that happens in the pub after the game. You actually finish up putting the referees under more pressure because everything is constantly reviewed, and then they finish up just not making decisions. I would 100% get shot of it. We actually were the first ones to introduce it down here in the A-League, which doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all that we were the first. We'll try anything gimmicky down here.
So you've seen it coming. You've seen what this was. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Disaster.
I've got a comment here. It's not about VAR. It's not actually a question. It's from Derek Hare. He says he named his son after you, Spencer, and then we sold you to Derby a few weeks later. So you made an impression, and then Martin O'Neill sold you to Derby a few weeks later.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh no!
To be fair, right? So sorry about that. That makes me feel proud that you named your son after me, but then I was then the Antichrist, and of course, because I suddenly had left and gone to the biggest rivals, eh?
Oh my word, Derek!
Spencer, how come you did go quite quickly after Derby? Because, like Jamie said, you slotted into the Leicester team. You were part of that team, doing very well, and I think most Leicester fans were surprised when you moved on.
So what happened was that. It was. I missed the first game of the season. I think we might have played Man United, but the gaffer brought in Frank Sinclair, and I was well.
Was it Jerry Taggart as well?
No, he hadn't come in by then. I don't think he had.
Oh, hadn't he?
I don't know. I can't remember. But he brought in. He brought in Frank, and then I missed the first game. I actually ripped my neck in training on the Thursday, and I was out, and then I missed that game, and then in the midweek we had a friendly game for the Resis against Derby, and I played in it as much to get some fitness and make sure that I was all right, but actually sort of really get some match fitness. It was at the baseball ground, and
he's gone.
I think we've lost him. I was about to.
It seems to have Spencer the connection. I mean, it's a long way away, Australia, guys.
It is.
It looks.
What a great show so far, though, Phil.
Do you know what, though, chaps? It's probably because he's talking about Derby. Maybe Leicester Fan TV technology. Just the minute we talk about Derby, it's just like that. That's it. He's gone. We'll see. We'll see
if a shame that is.
Well, let's see. I'm going to remove him and see if we can. If he'll click back in.
There was a cracking question a minute ago.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Matt Shepherd. What did he say? What did he say to the referee after the dodgy Chelsea penalty at Stamford Bridge? I'd love to know the answer to that.
Yeah, another good question coming up as well is Andrew James Schreiber's one. How would the current LCFC squad fare against the LCF squad of his time?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question.
Let's just hope we can get Spencer back in, and we can ask him then.
Here he is.
This is what social distance. Here he is.
Here he is.
Here he is.
Hey,
what
he's
rambling on about Derby, and we decided to cut you off.
Yeah,
you talk about Derby County, and the system just says no.
See what happened? So I'll go back. I'll get back before the internet crashes again.
Yeah.
So they sold Christian Daly to West Ham, and I didn't realise. But so I was in training one day, and John Robertson come up to me and he goes, "I think the gaffer's selling you today." I was like, "What?" It was completely out of the blue. He said, "I think he's going to sell you." So I was like, "Where to?" He says, "Can't tell you." Anyway, next thing you know, Steve Wolford comes out and he goes, "Gaffer wants to have a chat to you in the office. Go on." So he was smiling. So I went in there and he went, "Yeah, look, Derby have made an offer. I've accepted. You don't have to go." He said, "If it doesn't work out and it's not good for you financially, or it doesn't work, you are more than 100% welcome to stay here and still be part of the squad and be competing for first team spot. But I want to give you the chance to go and have a chat to them. You've earned the right. They're interested in chatting to you." I then went and started talking to Derby. We agreed terms and everything was done. And then only after that, they told us that Christian Daly had been sold to West Ham for like a mozza.
Yeah.
And it was only then that we went, bugger, we could have put a zero on the end of what we were asking for because they suddenly had a load of money. But it was, it was sad to leave at the time, particularly going to Derby, a big rival. I was pleased to go and be valued. It's always a big part of being a player is you want to be valued and feel valued by the manager. So Martin telling me that I could go back if the offer, if it wasn't right, was great. But you kind of get a gut feeling as well, and you want to play. Derby, their stadium was great. I got a great gut feel about the place and the coaching staff, particularly, and it just happened. And
it worked out well, Spencer, for you there. You had a good spell there.
I had a great. Do you know what? I actually had. I shouldn't say it's too, but I do actually talk it up. I had a really, really enjoyable time there, and as great as it was professional on the next level at that time. We've all seen the stuff that Leicester are now doing. I mean, the training facility they're looking to build now is insane, right? But at the time, Derby's was set up better than Leicester in terms of how professional it was off the pitch, in terms of the sort of access to different things that we had. We had Bill Bezic as the sports psychologist. We had Steve McLaren as the first team coach, Steve Round as his assistant. It was a really, really, really the attention to detail was completely different to how Steve Wolford and John Robertson were as coaches. I don't want to bag them out because Wally particularly was outstanding as a coach. Like what he had to put up with the gaffer was insane. It was, because Wally would come out and take all the training. There'd be a clear plan of what was going on, and Wally would come out and take the training, and then at some random point in the session, the gaffer would come out and go, "Right, just come stand here. I want to run round that goal, back into me. You got 25 seconds to do it. If you don't do it, you go again." And he would run the arses off us, right? We'd be flogged. The gaffer would then walk back in and expect Wally to just carry on the session from where it was. We were dead. We'd be dead. He'd go, "Oh, cheers, gaffer. Thanks for that." So going into Derby, back to that, we'd go into training and we'd have all these proper lazy boy chairs, but they'd all have massages, special massage for different people in terms of as a warm-up, in terms of activation, places that you need activating, which is then when we would have our meeting. Our video analysis would be done before training and planning and what we're doing. It was mind-blowing for me to have this at the time. That was through the course of the season, and the company that actually did all the massage chairs turns out to be Prozone. Oh. So we were the guinea pigs. Yeah, we were the guinea pigs for Prozone, right? Which kind of, I think, probably caught me out once they started looking at my data and my statistics. Kind of was like, oh dear. There you go.
Spencer, I've got a question for you. What team do you actually support?
So I grew up as a kid. I know where this story is going to go to, but we can go there. I grew up as a kid as a Chelsea supporter.
Chelsea supporter.
Fair enough. They helped us win the Premier League, but carry on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I used to go and watch Chelsea when they were really, really bad in like the old second division against Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
When they were awful. And then so Mickey Droy was there, and then players like Kerry Dixon come along, and David Speedy and Pat Nevin. And Kerry Dixon was my hero growing up as a kid. So I grew up as a Chelsea supporter, and one fateful day in '97, that love affair ended. That love affair ended, and I hated them ever since.
When you mean the penalty?
Yeah.
Somebody asked a question about this. Go on. Yeah, go on. Talk us through it.
Well, it wasn't a penalty, but we were absolutely convinced that year that we were doing well in the Premier League, but we were also convinced that we'd go on and we believed we'd do a cup double, no doubt. We were very, very confident with the sides that were left in the competition. We were confident that we have a really good shot, at least in making a couple of finals anyway. So, to lose the way that we did was very, very disappointing. We obviously got the little bit of comfort that we went on and did well in the League Cup. But to get knocked out in that way in the FA Cup was pretty soul destroying.
What happened, Spencer? Just remind people who maybe don't know.
Everyone watching this show should know. But
yeah, they should.
Did you have a few words with Johansson when after he got up, or did you just say, "Oh, well done"? Yeah.
I was more having a go at the referee than I was worried about Erling Johnson, who blatantly dived.
Yeah.
But it's happened. We moved on.
That caused a load of problems, didn't it? People were going to courts, and people were going to court saying it caused them stress and depression, and they're all on the sick because of what happened.
Well,
caused a load of problems.
Like I said, I was a Chelsea supporter as a kid, through and through, and from that time on, can't stand them. Always then loved playing against them and beating them, or I was never as motivated to beat any side until after that. It was even now can't stand them. Like it went from being a really, really, really good old-fashioned English type club to being very cosmopolitan and continental, sort of when Vialli's sort of era, that sort of stage, and it was just a bit weird. So that's my Chelsea story done.
What do you make of the? I've got a question for you. What do you make of the current Leicester squad and how well we're doing right now? What do you make of the Leicester?
I think squad? I can't remember the last time they played. It's so long ago, doesn't it?
Aston Villa 4-0.
Wow, it seems so long ago, but I would say that the squad is very strong. I think the best bit of business they did was keeping hold of the manager, by the way, Brendan Rodgers, at the start of the season. I mean, there was talk that he might have even gone to Arsenal, I think, at the time.
Yes, yeah, there was.
That bit of business to keep him was immense, because he's clearly got a great philosophy that has allowed the players to play a really entertaining type of football. I'd still like to see them add some strength at the back. I'm a bit worried as well about. I love Jamie Vardy. I think he's done amazing things for the club, but how much longer?
Yeah.
and that's not to belittle him at all or in any way, because he's still scoring goals, right?
Yeah,
and that's it's amazing what he's still doing. But when the legs start to go, they go very quick, and there needs to be someone that's an instant replacement. There
isn't, is there? Not even in the league.
No, not at the minute. Not in the minute.
No. But in terms of where the club are at, I think it's an amazing achievement still, given the money that other clubs are still spending around them, that they're still able to compete at the level they are.
I'll go further with the question then. How do you think you would compare against the current squad with your squad during the time you were at Leicester?
Because it'd be close. That'd be a great game.
It would be close.
Leicester 1997.
Can we still tackle the way that we were allowed to tackle?
Let's say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a great game.
Oh God, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, we would. Yeah, it would be actually. It'd be an interesting game. I don't think it would be a runaway. I think it'd be a different. You know, the style has changed. Obviously, the style has really changed, and it's a different type of football, and it's the sort of football that I love to watch. Like the way that we played isn't the way that I would want my team to play.
I can just picture you flattening James Madison, just literally squash.
Yeah, have it. A lot of Leicester fans now. I mean, we've got a great squad at the moment and some lovely football at times, Spencer. But quite a lot of fans hark back to the team you were part of and say that we just need some of that ingredients in today's team, which is just a bit more. You know, we're not quite got leaders on the pitch some days, or a bit more bite in there. You know, and you just think, if we could just bring a bit of that, sprinkle it in, you probably have the perfect team.
But there really isn't that many leaders in the game now, anyway, that had that sort of. I think the whole thing has changed.
But your team was full of leaders, Spencer. You included. Yeah, everybody was the leader.
It was, but it's evolved now. You know, you had to be. Now you're just a part of the puzzle, whereas before you had to really step up and, you know, show your mettle before you played. Whereas now, if you play, it's almost a divine right that you've got the ability and you've got the accessibility to go on and play at the highest level. But before you really had to earn your stripes physically first. Whereas I think that's probably something that has gone a little bit from the game now. Maybe that's for the better. You know, it is an interesting game to watch now. Very interesting to watch. Very different. But I think it will be very close. I'd like to think it will be close.
I think it would.
I'd like to think. Yeah. I'd like to think I'd like to think we'd still beat them. You know?
I think it'd be a good game. It'd be a good game, wouldn't it?
I think you would, Spencer. I actually think the 97-98 team squad you were part of, I actually think probably would win. You finished 9th, you finished 10th in those 2 seasons you were at Leicester in the Premier League, and you won the League Cup. It was one of the most successful periods in the past, in the club's history ever. So
when you think about the year that I came in was the year they got promoted, and I think the few years before it, the club had a real reputation of being a yo-yo club, up and down, and it had never been able to have that stability in the Premier League. So the thing was to get that. That was the first thing, you know. The emphasis wasn't on us finishing mid-table, winning cups and stuff. It was really on survival first. But then once we started and we realised just how successful we actually could be and how we really could compete, the players really thrived on it and really grew as the season went on. Really grew into it, and the confidence that we started to show. I mean, that Arsenal game epitomised the spirit that we had. It really did. We just never gave up.
Okay.
Can you hold on a minute? Can you imagine Soyuncu and Pryor and the back four today nowadays?
That'd be mad.
Now that would be like, yeah, go on then. Both of them two at the back, blimey.
But Spencer, I've got one question for you though before, because we really need to start wrapping up. Where were you, and how did you feel when Leicester actually did win the Premier League in 2016?
Where was I? I think I might have been in Thailand, actually. I think I was in Thailand.
That was a good place to be.
I bet it was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was an amazing achievement, eh? It was, you know, and from watching it from the outside, and as everyone's going, They can't maintain this. They can't keep it up. They can't keep it up. Or they just might. They can't keep it up, but they might. Or they are, you know.
Yeah.
And it just went on and on and on and on. And it just it epitomises the area and the fans and the culture and the club that they're never beaten. They're really not. And, you know, they'll fight for everything and do it together. That's why I loved it there. It epitomised that. And I was I was pleased to be a part of that.
Because Spencer, when again that great squad you were at Leicester, when you said we fancied 2 cups that year, you'd obviously got that ambition. Did you start either of those 2 seasons, especially the second season you were at Leicester, thinking we could have a run at even the league then, or was it not really? No.
It was always about survival first.
Yeah,
and you know we got match bonuses and stuff, and we did. You know, everyone loved getting their win bonuses. They got changed in the second year, obviously, after we had a really good first year.
They moved the goalposts.
They got bloody changed the second year. But it was good though. It was you know it was a good time to be at the club, and you know I've still got the medal in the safe, which is great, and the shirts are around, and you know it was good to be part of that journey. Really important.
Fantastic, Jamie. I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't know. I think someone's right.
That means it's time to finish, Jamie.
It's nearly time. Well, we've got one last question, one very quick question.
Yep.
How would, which we normally end this with, how would you finish the Premier League season now? Because a lot of leagues have now said, well, Holland have done it, saying they've voided their leagues and that's it. So how would you end it?
Well, don't forget. So I did play for Man City, right? So as the reigning current champions. Do
you go around bragging that like you've played for Leicester, have won the league, and you've
as the current champions?
Yeah.
What I'm actually thinking is, and look, Liverpool have done brilliant, right? And 30 years they've had to wait. 30 long years the Scousers have had to wait. Just make it 31 though, eh? Just void it. Just void it.
Love it. I love it.
Right, I think that might be the best place.
That is the clip. That is brilliant. The clip for social media. That's the clip.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. Spencer, much appreciated. It's been well worth the chat. We all love these chats, and the fans like it as well, with all the comments that are coming in. So much appreciated. Thank you, pal.
Guys. Hopefully one day we can catch up, and I'll come over and watch a game, and we can go and have a beer after the game.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
No, that would be
beer!
fun.
Oh, beer! Beer, I love beer.
Beer and a curry.
Yes.
Oh yeah, even one of them as well.
Righto.
Cheers, Spencer. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. See ya.
Well,
that was good again, wasn't it? Another good one.
Absolutely brilliant.
But just keep getting better and better, don't they?
Oh, just getting better and better. I mean, let's hope we can get Casey Keller on.
Yes.
We could do.
Casey, a big good one.
We could do.
We've overrun by 15 minutes. Hopefully, absolutely nobody minds, because it was a lovely chat with him. I think we could have talked with him for another hour.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, quite easy. I think most of these we can carry on, couldn't we? But
because you've got so many questions, you just keep firing up, couldn't you? You just keep going and going and going.
It's the fans' questions that keep us going, isn't it? The more fans' questions, the better it is, isn't it? It's the way it works.
Right.
I've got something to tell people that obviously on social media you can go and follow Spencer Pryor on Twitter. I think he's also on Instagram, but his Twitter handle, I believe, is. Anyone got it to hand?
It's
yes, I have.
Manly Spence. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
It's Manly S Penny.
Okay,
that's it.
You can't get that up on screen for the?
Well, we've been tweeting it. If you go to our Twitter account, Leicester Fan TV, or either yours, Lee_Chappie, or the Fox's Arms.
Yeah,
you'll see it all there.
Plenty there.
Jamie, just tell us who have you fixed up for tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, we've got Neil Dans. He should have some cracking stories. A Liverpudlian, a Scouser, as Spencer calls them. You know how Scousers are always funny, so we should have some absolutely cracking stories off him.
We'll see if he wants to end the league now.
What an ending that was. That was brilliant, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
So, getting loads of great comments here. Top man Spencer Price, says Sean. Everybody really enjoyed that one. It was top notch with Spencer Price. So, absolutely. Thanks, Jamie.
Really was enjoyable. Yes.
Thanks Jamie, for letting me.
Yeah. These two interlopers here, Phil that side, Lee that side, jumping on my show this morning. Oh, I could have had a lie-in, but they said, no, you can't have a lie-in this morning. You've got to do it still.
Chappers, should he jump in the pool now?
I think.
No, not enough.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I saw it. It peaked at 280. Jamie, go on.
You wish. You wish it did. I didn't see them numbers.
Wow.
I didn't see them numbers.
Chappie, did you see the numbers?
I thought it was 281, mate. To be honest.
There you go. Go on.
No, not today. No, not doing it today. They've had the privilege of you two. That makes it better.
All right. Over to you, James.
You go in the pool.
Yeah,
you go in the pool. Well, that's it for us today.
Behind my green screen.
Say that again, Chappie.
Behind my green screen.
Behind your green screen. It could do wonders for you hangover, though, couldn't it? You were looking a bit green today.
Don't tell
like
everybody
my
about
Phil shirts.
Oh, cheers for
that. Right, James,
just like to say, right, everyone's been watching. Absolutely fantastic show. We'll see you tomorrow night. So it's goodbye, ciao, ciao, adios. Top of the morning to you all. See you later.